So the same issues seem to be haunting India once again, with the Sri Lankan tail putting up a solid fight to frustrate the visitors here at the SSC Stadium in Colombo during the day 3 of the India versus Sri Lanka second test match. Hello and welcome to Revsportz. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti and this post-day wrap is presented by IDFC First Bank. And before the start of the day, everyone felt, fans, the media here present, even the players would have felt the same confidence that they would be able to wrap up Sri Lankan batting unit here on day 3, having picked up 2 wickets on day 2 in the final half an hour of day 2. But again, once again, there was a solid fight that was put up by the Sri Lankan batters, especially Pasindu Surya Bandara and of course Sonal Dinusha, who has been the outstanding star from the Sri Lankan team in this 2-match test series. But having said that, the Indian bowlers would be tad disappointed, having not been able to take all those 10 wickets or perhaps the 8 wickets that were remaining after the end of day 2 here on day 3. India ended up picking just 6 wickets after bowling for the majority of the day. There were a couple of rain interruptions, but at the same time, Indian bowlers would know that they could have done a lot better with the ball. Whether it's the new ball, whether it's the old ball, you are expected to pick at least 8 wickets on a day, especially in Sri Lankan conditions. Yes, the pitch was a batting friendly pitch. The ball was not doing that much, but at the same time, I felt the line and length of the Indian bowlers were somewhat inconsistent throughout the throughout the day 3's play. We have to give credit to the 2 batters, or maybe if you can add 3, make it 3. But Pasindu Surya Bandara, who made a concussion substitute test debut in Gaul, scored a golden duck there. So there was automatically a lot of pressure building up on the youngster. But he did manage to score a brilliant 80 odd. He could have gone on to score a century, but his presence there, his proactive nature of the game, he was looking to score runs and not just play time, and that's what gave Sri Lankan batters the confidence there. He stitched a good partnership with the opener, the debutant Kamil Mishara. Of course, Kamil Mishara could not convert his start into a big one, but that partnership looked solid for a while. After that, Kamindu Mendes also played some glorious strokes all over the park throughout his brief stay out there on the crease. But once again, the star of the day for Sri Lanka has to be Sonal Dinusha. What a solid left-handed batting all-rounder Sri Lankan cricket have found, and after scoring a century and a 80 odd in Gaul, he has continued his glorious run of form here in Colombo, and he looks like a proper bat who can even bowl left arm spin. So Sonal Dinusha has to be the outstanding star for Sri Lanka here in this 2-match test series, and he's someone on whom Sri Lankan cricket should invest big time on when it comes to this format of the game. Having said that, apart from Sonal Dinusha, 2 players, 2 tail enders whom India once again failed to get out pretty early was Nuvara Keshanta and of course Lahiru Kumara. Novara played, Keshara Nuvantha played around 74 deliveries during his stay. Lahiru Kumara still unbeaten, having played 50 deliveries, and Indian bowlers is that area where they would be very disappointed. They could not get the tailenders out pretty early, and after they had to bowl, even after taking the last wicket, the 8th wicket, they bowled for around 1.5 hours without breaking that partnership. And Lahiru Kumara, with the old ball, with the new ball, showed some solid technique just to not give his wicket away, and not allowing the Indian team to perhaps enforce a follow on. Now with a leader or with a trail of around 238, Sri Lanka would want to get that under 200 so that they could avoid follow on, but follow on is a decision which the Indian team will have to take pretty carefully. Would they want to bat for one session at least to take the total to around 350, 400, and if they can bat aggressively and score some runs, then 400 should be a target which the Indian team would be very comfortable about, with still 2 days of play left here in Colombo. But having said that, the Sri Lankan batter showed that you can still score runs on day 3 of the pitch. People were expecting that from day 3 onwards, batting would become difficult here in what has been a pretty dry but hard surface. But considering that this pitch is producing true bounce, the Sri Lankan batters had no issues whatsoever to tackle the inconsistent line and length of the Indian bowlers. But from the Indian bowlers, the star of the day has to be Prasidh Krishna. Bowled his heart out, picked up 3 wickets. One came yesterday, two came today. Manav Sutar again picked up 3 wickets. He continues his rise in this particular format for the Indian team. Ravindra Jadeja ended up with 1 wicket. Expected more wickets from Ravindra Jadeja. Siraj picked up 1 wicket, but Mohammad Siraj's fitness, is he all fine, is something which we need to keep an eye on day 4 and day 5 when Indian team comes out to bowl once again. But 2 wickets are still left, and India would want to wrap Sri Lankan batting as soon as possible. And from the Indian bowling, I think Saransh Jain would be highly disappointed by the kind of debut he has had so far. And it is a fact that he struggled to trouble the Sri Lankan batters out there. There are two things: you bowl well and you do not get wicket, you get unlucky. That is one thing. But I think Saransh Jain could not get that extra zip or extra bounce or extra turn perhaps from this Colombo pitch. So that was a tad disappointing day for Saransh Jain, who has done exceedingly well in domestic cricket for Madhya Pradesh, for India A, in red ball tournaments like Dilip Trophy and all. So Saransh Jain, he would like to bounce back on day 4 when the Indian team comes out to bowl. There are still 12 wickets to go for the Sri Lankan batting unit, and Saransh, despite a bad day out on the field, at the office, he would want to contribute in a match winning fashion. For Indian team, the focus right now should be on taking those 2 wickets as early as possible. Sonal Dinusha is still out there. He's looking for his century, and he's looking so good, so good. I will fall short of words to hype up what Sonal Dinusha has done for Sri Lankan cricket in this particular series. Yes, they did not win goal, but Sonal Dinusha's presence out there gave them that confidence that they have found a better batting all-rounder to invest on in the future as well. For the Indian team, the focus, it would be interesting because follow on, they are still, they can pick up, if they can pick up those 2 wickets within 38 runs, they have the option to enforce the follow on. But will they do that? That is a question that we will get the answer for in tomorrow. Another update regarding Rishabh Pant. Morne Morkel was here at the post day press conference, and he was asked about Rishabh Pant, and he did confirm that Rishabh Pant has had some swelling on his right shoulder, having been hit by a Lahiru Kumara bouncer on day 3. So Rishabh Pant, he did not take the field for the entirety of day 3, but Morne Morkel is pretty confident. He's looked pretty confident with his answer that Rishabh Pant will be out there to keep wickets for India tomorrow. And he did praise Rishabh Pant and said that the Indian team want Rishabh Pant's presence behind the stumps because of his reading of the game, his exemplary reading of the game. Another player I don't think many people will talk about is Sarfaraz Khan. He was chirpy throughout the day and did cause some trouble and frustration for the Sri Lankan batters out there. But having said that, 2 wickets, India would want to wrap up this Sri Lankan batting as soon as possible, and then decide whether to enforce the follow on or bat once again and put a target of around 350-400 on a day 4 or day 5 pitch here at the SSC in Colombo. Do let us know what you think about the performance by the Indian bowlers in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell icon so that you don't miss anything. And this post day package was powered by IDFC First Bank.